I am an African American, Native American, Jewish woman. I grew up in the most progressive circles Boston has to offer, and in every one I was made to feel accepted, equal, and empowered, culminating, of course, upon my arrival to Columbia and Barnard especially. It is with great distress and a heavy heart that I must now inform everyone that the acceptance I thought I experienced was in actuality a fairy tale. I have learned that amongst my peers who openly advocate for the destruction of the one Jewish state, the desire to uplift and accept me is restricted only to the identities of mine they deem worthy. This is, of course, the same as refusing to accept me at all. I have been denied my experience as a person of marginalized identity, which can also be understood as gaslighting. Be it racism or sexism, covert or overt, no one has ever denied me the right as the person holding the targeted identity to name the aggression and the feelings associated with it. That is, until now. My Jewish sisters and brothers and I are on the receiving end of death threats from our peers. Undergraduates who have filed reports about these incidents have been left with no emotional support, no feedback, and no consequences for the perpetrators of these hateful actions. As a result of this inaction, there are Jewish students who do not feel physically safe on campus. And yet the unequivocal tone of the student body and frankly the administration prior to recent email statements is, no, this is not what anti-Semitism is. This is not what you are experiencing. The relentless call for the obliteration of the only Jewish state on earth is the same as calling for the death of the entire people. We, the Jewish people, will not survive without Israel. Some are aware of this, which is why they call for its destruction in the first place. Others are not. Raised in the height of privilege, they do not understand that the existence of Israel is directly correlated to the existence of our people. Regardless, I am here to say now that I will not be gaslit. I am a Black, Native American, Jewish woman. I know what it is like to be accepted, and I know what it is like to be aggressed on account of my identity. And right now, I am one of those students who feels neither safe nor welcome in her own home. It should go without saying that I, like every other Zionist I know, believe in the inalienable right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. That students on this campus hold Hamas as representation of the Palestinian people is wholly misguided and detrimental to the true Palestinian cause, which is to consolidate a legitimate state of their own. It is all the more clear then that the priority of these demonstrations is not the human rights of Palestinian civilians, as they so ardently claim, but the annihilation of Israel and the Jewish people. Never in my lifetime have I compared contemporary events to those of the Holocaust, though I have seen others do so. Frankly, I ignored examples of anti-Semitism growing up, believing them powerless to have any real impact. I say at this moment, now is the time for the comparison to be made. It was always hard for my generation to comprehend how the Nazis could have mobilized. How did the Gentile bystanders fall prey to propaganda so effectively that they quickly became the perpetrators themselves? As I stand here now, forced to spell out the events of recent weeks and their implications to the students of one of the very institutions designed to arm us with the critical thinking skills and intellectual capabilities to realize this on our own, the phenomenon is becoming more understandable to me. The saturation of anti-Israel propaganda on campus has convinced the majority of the student body of the same insidious theories through which the Holocaust was enacted. With renewed specifics, it is the idea that the Jewish people are the reason for world plight while simultaneously maintaining a suspicious, omnipresent power over everyone else. Indeed, the student body at Columbia and at our peer institutions has been so thoroughly propagandized, they do not see and refuse to see the extent of their fear and hatred towards the Jewish people. So whether operating out of malice or ignorance, this is anti-Semitism at its core. To say otherwise is a disservice to every marginalized group who has been given the impression by the same student population that now calls for the death of an entire people that they are accepted. Know now that this acceptance is conditional. We have been allowed acceptance, and it may be revoked at any time. I I consider myself a highly honest person, so regretfully, I am unable at this moment to convey honestly a final note of optimism and hope. I will instead leave everyone with a question to contemplate amongst themselves. What does this mean for us, for our future as a community, and for our future as a generation if we do not figure this out?